Lesson 2, Closing the Country by Henry Jackson and Andrew. For the first part, we will be talking about three main shoguns. First, we will be talking about Tokugawa Ieyasu. Tokugawa Ieyasu did a few things in his time as shogun. First, he centralized his government base in Edo, which is now Tokyo, and finished the unification of Japan, started by Oda Nobunaga.
Toyotomi Hideyoshi accomplished quite a bit in his time when he was a shogun. Even though it was the shortest amount of time, he accomplished the most. He continued centralizing government power. He created a society based on formal class, created a standing army, trying to expand his territory by attacking both Korea and China, but was defeated by both. Basically, he was more for himself than he was for his country.
For our last shogun, we will be talking about Oda Nobunaga. During Nobunaga's time as shogun, he did a few things. He reduced the influence of Buddhist control over Japanese politics, built a series of castles to defend his lands, and introduced new administrative practices to pave the way towards a united Japan.
Now I'm going to be talking about why Japan isolated themselves. Starting in 1543, Japan started considering isolating themselves because following Portugal, traders brought missionaries converting Japanese people from Shinto to Christianity. The shoguns and government leaders did not like this because it depleted their devotion to them and changing their worldview very rapidly.
The Closed Country Edict of 1635 was something that the Japanese did that pretty much banned all people coming into Japan and banned all Japanese going out of Japan. This was because they basically got fed up of all the worldview changes that had been put onto them in the past 50 years.
Religion plays a huge part in people's lives. A lot of the main religions started in Asia. They traveled along the Silk Road to different countries by missionaries. A good example of this is Japan. Christianity traveled along the Silk Road with Christian missionaries all the way to Japan, who had already adopted Shinto and Confucianism. Christianity created a huge conflict between the Japanese leaders and the religious leaders. Religion is a huge part of people's lives and their worldview. It can also be a very destructive force.
Japan is and was a very advanced and civilized country. After being isolated from the world for hundreds of years and all of a sudden having unknown people making changes to your worldview and very quickly creating inner conflict, that's a problem that Japan faced in the 1600s. They thought the best way to deal with it was to isolate themselves. Again. Too much change too quickly is not good for anyone, especially not the Japanese.